get everything up and running. I did end up doing a little bit off camera, but I tried to keep it to a minimum. Mostly I just did things like I've been tweaking with the power gen. I did do a little bit of research, and I did MAM research up to the point of getting my Blade Runners. Just chill. And I've done an overhaul on the power setup. I also set up a capacitor bank, battery bank, whatever it's called. Inventory, nice and empty. At the moment, those are disconnected from the coal altogether. It's whatever those things are called. Power storage. Yeah, it's just called power storage. And they're all fully charged. I got 3.6 gigahertz, or gigahertz, gigawatts worth of power saved up. The splat thing. But all of this is doing nothing. Originally, yeah, I know there's a coal line going across here now. Originally, I started with bringing the water up over the hill, but with the Mark I pumps, it ends up costing almost as much powerage to transport the water as it does to do the as what you're generating. And so I was like, that's not worth it, so let's just do the coal instead. Might as well remove all that. Yes, I know you can remove multiple things at a time. Like so. The thing is, I want to try to avoid removing that. So now I thought about putting the power over there, but I'll show you guys once we're done removing all this old stuff. Also, on my Twitch dashboard, I went ahead and just disabled the video because it's not doing anything anyways. What with my poor GPU not being able to handle that. Oh, that's better. I was gonna say, there should be more songs on the playlist than that. Nope. And that's why I don't want to use that mode. Any hoozles. All of the power gen is now over here. And according to math and doing the max water through the tier 1 pipes, you can do 8 coal generators on 3 pumps, and it's 60 coal per minute, I believe. No. Yeah, 15, 30, 60, 120 coal per minute. But I went and rebuilt it all over here. And at first I was going to do the full 32 you can get from the maxed out pure node. But then it's like, well, I don't like having that belt go all the way across the land. See how these are doing. Should be doing okay. Yeah. Should actually be starting to get backed up a little bit. At least in places. But to optimize it, you really need to have your water pumps not all feed in the same spot. One at each end and one in the middle, because it's 360 water per minute, I believe. And the pipes only do 300. I mean, it seems to be keeping up, so that's good. And so with this, we're getting 1.2 gigawatts generated. And our battery is charged. And we're barely touching it. That's the other major thing that I did. Also, I did do a little bit of the research stuff. I got the quartz going so I can have the... I've got my blade runners now. And I set up for improving the production of steel. Like, this is a coal node. And I didn't realize this is a coal node too, but it's a normal one, so I need a Mark III miner. But it will eventually supply that power gen, so I don't have that have the belt draped across the entirety of the landscape. And the optimum, according to my calculations, Mark II miners on basically all the nodes that have stuff for the steel production now, plus that extra coal node that there's one sitting on, should give me enough for 8 of the refineries? No, that's for the refineries, the oil. This is the, what's to do is it? Foundry. Yeah. And I'm not currently using anywhere near as much steel as it puts out. And over there's for the iron. You go up over there, and it takes you to the quartz, which it should be a full container now. And then I did find the caterium. We're gonna have to finish some sulfur research before we can get the caterium. And I did set up crafting to do those last 2 components on the previous phase of the space elevator. Basically, it's just the same frames, the versatile framework and some automated wire. I didn't set up full automation on that. You make a lot of noise. What I did was I set up a constructor, or not constructor, the assembler. And I had to do a little bit of research on the power slicks to unlock the overclocking, which means that I can overclock it now, and I've got it maxed out on overclocking. But just to make this few parts, we will want to, at some point, automate all of that. And it looks like the ultimate fuel production for power is going to be the fuel generators. Because if we don't have... I'm not sure if we have the ability to make enough coal generators to really do that. But first, oil processing. Motors needs to be automated, and then the rest of it I think I've got. I think I might actually have that. Okay, disorganized inventory. There's coal in there. Let's see. Should be able to... How many tickets do we got? Because this is what gets us decorative stuff. 5 plus 8, I want to say. 6. I must have bought something previously. My awesome shop is over here. I'm lost. Yes, I know it's my own base. So that'd be 6. 6. That would actually bring us right up to 11. Alright, the motors. What goes into those anyways? Assemblers. Motor is stators and rotors. So we're going to automate the stators, which requires wire and steel pipes. Alright, so we're not ready for that. We're not actually ready for our next research task. Shockingly enough. Actually, hang on. Ma'am. Because I need to get the explosives. 50 sulfur, 25 coal. I've got the coal, but not the sulfur. Can I scan for sulfur? I can't. Should be like that way somewhere. That's not enough to do anything. Wow. Oh, over by everything I've been working on. Infinite range. I thought there was one like way over. Well, it might be past that coal node actually. Button. That will actually make my life a little easier. I need 50 sulfur and I have 13. Let's grab some iron plates. Everything's currently backfilled, but it's not going to stay that way forever. Because I need to rip all of this out too and rearrange it and redo it. Also, I don't know if it actually comes through the mic at all, but one of my neighbors is doing something. I'm not sure if it's a chainsaw or what, but it's really annoying. Based on the audio meter, I'm going to say no, it is not. It's probably over by where the nearer to the quartz. No, that's past the iron node. On the way to the quartz. Hanging off the side of the cliff. As we get closer and the indicator moves around, I believe the upright arrow, or up to the left arrow is the sulfur. Yeah. Might actually be somewhere in the middle. Like up on that hill over there? I think it might be. You plan on doing lots of stuff, and you end up not getting much of it done. It's kind of like Minecraft, except for with less death. Be great if that node was up top here. Be easy access. Probably isn't, but you know, here we are. There is a cliff up here. Actually, that's not too bad. The hardest part is going to be getting to it. Let's see. conditions. Dang it. I don't necessarily need to do a whole lot with it, but this will also unlock the rifle thing. And unfortunately, we do usually end up with way more sulfur than we need. But this unlocks black powder, which then will unlock some more stuff in the research tree, including what they call Nobelisk. It's a mini explosive. And there's also a rifle. But if I remember right, in order to make the rifle, you actually have to have oil production, because I think you need plastic for it. I think that's enough for now. I shall return. Well, that's a change. Usually it busts my bot account, not my main account. Off to do the research. Because we have to get the explosives going in order to do Caterium. I did find that node earlier. Because part of what I was doing earlier today for an hour or so was run around a little bit. Because I remembered there being a Caterium node close to where I'm at now. And we're going to need quick wire to do things like the Mark II power poles. I think I can unlock the research now. I just have to go mine some. For that, I think I might set up the portable miners. I won't be able to set up the regular miner on it until after I get the explosives. Because there's a couple of... There's currently a couple of those boulders in it you can blow up. Alright, so... sulfur, and let's see, explosives.
New recipe unlocked.
50, 100, and 200 of that.
New research available in the MAM.
So need 150 black powder, I think. I think some of this stuff you can just buy. Yeah. I don't have anywhere near enough tickets for that, but it's possible to just buy it too. The new research. The thing we need is the explosives. So... also, while we're at it, let's go ahead and put a miner up there. Just a Mark 1 miner and a storage. Let's do an industrial storage container. Steel beams, steel pipes. Alright, got all that. We are going to need that as well as that. I think we got everything else. Yep. Because we're going to need more sulfur than that. Wire. I need wire. Do I have any over here? I've also started just dumping the excess into the awesome sink. No. because the power poles do require wire. The Mark IIs require quick wire from the Caterium research. But these ones should be fine. I wonder why it's not using my bot account. Over this way. Get this going first, because we're going to need a fair bit of sulfur for what we're going to do. Could probably use another coal node. And the reason why it has to be the Mark III on that node that's blocked currently is because at the moment, those are normal nodes, not pure ones. And so it's only 60 instead of 120 with the Mark I. And each tier doubles the production. So I'd be able to produce about half the power with that. Unless I stole one of the other coal nodes off of the steel production. Which I could do. I seem to be a little backed up at the moment anyways. And the other reason to start further down the research trees here is simply because we're going to need the higher tier belts. The tier 3 belts only do up to 100 or 270 items a minute. And the actual production for all of that to get the full optimized 8 steel producing at once is 360 per minute. So, I'm not going to do anything terribly fancy with this. Start with the miner. I suppose I could just put the storage container up here. Whatever. Probably don't have enough for anything besides the Mark 1s, so... But go ahead and get this going. Now get that going. Because we're going to need more of that. Now, you know what? I should probably pull some of this coal off because I'm going to need it. Temporarily set up a storage container for that. Industrial storage container. Oh, gotta do a regular storage container. I don't think I'm gonna need much. That there. Because we will need a little bit of coal for that. And then go set up, I don't know, 2 or 3 of them at the Caterium. The portable miners. Unfortunately, for the moment, we're going to probably have to manually craft the black powder. But everything in this game is automatable for the most part, except for the biomass burners. And no matter how you slice it, I could only get about 5 of the water extractors in this pond. Makes me sad, but, you know, that's how it goes sometimes. Got about 4 of those. And the Caterium, I'm going to need to build a bridge to it. That's why I didn't grab it earlier. I mean, you can jump further with the Blade Runners, but you can't jump that far. This is right there. Let's see. Foundations. And yes, they overlap. I should be able to get enough to be able to actually place these. Not that. Keep hitting the wrong button. That's not it. Hitting all the wrong buttons.
New technologies can be developed based on this new superconductive gold-like element, primarily in power and electronics. A new research tree can now be accessed in the MAM.
Because we need to do the Caterium research in order to build the Mark II poles. Not everywhere, but there's a few places I'd like to put some. Let's see, Caterium. You also, I believe, need it for...
New resource added to the resource scanner.
I don't think we're going to really need more than the one. Not until later, anyway. Also, I forgot to close that. I'll pull up the Windows audio mixer because I don't have an easy way of muting and unmuting just the game. I could probably just dump everything in my inventory. Because I'm going to be picking up some sulfur and some coal. And what's the ratio of that for the black powder? 1 to 1, I think. Biomass, silica quartz cable. Oh, I have to use the... Well, that's what I got the other one set up for anyway. Yeah, it's a 1 to 1. I need about 150 of it, so I'm thinking a couple of stacks of each should do the trick. Plus, we're gonna, I believe, need some in order to make the explosive. But then we get the Caterium wire going. It's used for some of the recipes in the main research terminal. Yesterday when I was doing a little bit of stuff I was working on, I ran into a problem. For whatever reason, I no longer could split copper wire, the stack size, because normally you right click on it and it lets you split the stack. But it wasn't having any of that. 3 stacks ought to do. And there should be more than that over there. At some point, I suppose I should probably do something, and I don't remember what it was. Must not have been terribly important. Either way, eventually I'll automate that too. Data proximity, I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. Let's see, coal. Are there any free coal nodes nearby? Like that way. Because those are all in use. There is. For when I go to actually set up the process to automatically make the black powder, it'd probably be good to use a separate node for that. I'm trying to do as much optimizing as I can. This little pulling the coal off is only because the steel production right now is all backed up and I need coal. And I would rather not try and steal it from the one that's running into our power gen. A quick drink. Sometimes things don't render in, so it looks like the belt is empty, and it's not. I do remember for the final crafting of one of the last items, I was looking at on my tablet the nuclear pasta, and I remember in the one time I've done that, my main bottleneck was actually the small machine frames, or the basic machine frames, or whatever it's called. The little box things. So we're going to try to not do that again. Let's see, nothing in there. Select recipe. Powder. Snow through there. Cold there. That'll take a minute. Let's see, what of this would we actually be able to do now? Go ahead and select the milestone because we need to do it anyway. $500 of that, 100 of that. I don't have 500 steel pipes here, do I? No. And part of why I didn't run the belt up for the coal up and over here is largely because I'm trying to not completely pave over Paradise this time around if I can help it. What I'm thinking about doing is everything that I can do in a local area around a resource, I will do there. I've got the limestone and everything ready to go for the steel protection. I just need to hook it up. And then I was thinking for transport to other places where you need like steel and copper wire and things of that nature, take it around over to a different place. I'm gonna have to use that assembler for the motors too, because I need the stators, which I believe actually uses steel pipe, if I remember correctly. Steel pipe with copper wire wrapped around it. No idea why that's posting under my main account. It shouldn't be. I'll have to investigate later. So this gives me most of what I need for that. And of course the extra pipe is because I need it for the stators. They go into the motors. But basically things like that that aren't currently automated. Let's see. Not you. You. How are we going? Not too bad. I think we got enough to, yeah. Do some more of the MAM research. Let's see. Sulfur research. Not that. Cables. Cable. Obelisk detonator.
New equipment unlocked.
Okay, steel beams, 50 of them. And I have 40. But I also have some concrete and some steel beams too. So. I mean, I might not have a solution for that. That just gives me an extra hand slot.
Tool belt has been expanded.
Ooh. But first we gotta do that. Let's see. Object scanner, Buckbear, Obelisk. Oh yeah, you need steel pipe for that too. And somewhere should be the detonator as well. And I don't have the parts to do that. I need an object scanner and cable. Oh. Reinforced plates, copper wire, and screws. See, reinforced plates, copper wire. Yeah, I have some of that. And I'll need that. We only want one of those. cable. Nope, not that box. There we go. Now, let's see. What else was... The Caterium. I think it uses a constructor, but I don't remember how much of it that'll be. A little bit of iron plates. I don't have what all I need. We're going to need resources to get power over there too. Let's see some of that. Go ahead and dump that in there. Industrial storage. On the ISV Discord, somebody was talking about how everybody seems to be gone right now and on Minecraft break. And I'm thinking, yeah, I would imagine most of the people who are on the Disney team probably are going on a break from Minecraft. Alright, and now... Oh. Helps if you put that in your hand. Nope. There we go. So I'm getting 120 Caterium per minute. And I have absolutely no idea how fast I'm going to be needing it. Because I don't know how much that's going to use. Or more accurately, I don't know how many of the constructors I'm going to need. Guess we'll find out. Caterium research just gets us that. Or smelting, rather. 50 ingots, but I think that's in a smelter. Nope, that's not gonna tell me. That's not gonna tell me. Okay. $45. 45, 90. 135. Okay, so 2 smelters there. 2 smelters it is. That doesn't divide nicely. Come on, I know what to use as a calculator. Yep, 2 and 2/3. Well. I think for simplicity's sake, we might stick with just 2. Wrong way. Because, you know. Ooh, shiny. So we could just do 3 and then underclock 1 to 33%. Logistics. Production smelter. Three smelters to turn it into ingots. And then a merger. The thing I was noticing prior is that I forget, because I start so frequently. You forget early game you don't have the ability to jump up to on top of this. Yeah, the temporary storage. It's almost perfect. Alright. Comply.
Message. Hello, this is Paternal Figure. I have taken ill and need your help to find a cure. Doctors say that the only remedy is alien artifacts.
Oh, shut it, Ada. I know it's you. Basically, when I'm done, I want the only thing running across the landscape is the power poles and lines. That's maxed. Jeez. Yeah, we're gonna need those Mark II power poles here sooner rather than later. Yeah, there we got that going. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and prep that, but I'm not going to actually use it yet. Because we still need the Mark IIIs. Also, I need to toss stuff together for that. It's kind of messy right now. But I got our power all settled, and the power storage is all set up. And from looking at what's up to come further along in the game, I don't think I'm going to bother with the nuclear power plant itself. The full automation for aluminum to get the final products you get from that is a giant pain. It's the second most painful thing to do in the game. The first most painful thing to do is fully automating the nuclear power plants. But the main reason to not do it right now is simply because it's radioactive waste. Anyone? And from my first playthrough where I did mess with the nuclear plant, it turns out that over time, the area of effect that is being irradiated gets bigger. To the point where I actually had to move my storage twice, my little dump chests. Now that node's available. But it's a normal node, which means I'm not going to get the full 120. That's why yeah. Or not 120, 240. Where is my spot? How do I go? Over there. I'm lost. So let's see. I can grab the copper out of the ant. That's a weird visual bug. Basically, sometimes what happens is that your item elevators will look like they're poking out the bottom. It's still working just fine. It's just a visual thing. I'm not sure if that's just a bug in the game or if that's just a multiplayer issue. There's some quirks with the multiplayer. Since I'm playing on a server, I got to miss out on all the very first steps, like the landing pod. I should have everything I need for the most part back over there. But once we get oil processing going, it unlocks a couple of things. Like, we'll be able to... Because it costs plastic sheets, we're going to have oil processing anyways to be able to get the Mark IV belts. And Mark V belts you don't get until towards the very end of the game because the way it's set up is you need aluminum for that. But once I have a production going of alclad aluminum sheets, I generally go and only use the Mark V belts. That appears to be finished with the task at hand. So I'm going to want to make stators. I've got the rotors. Stators. And I need 50 motors, which means I need 100 rotors and 100 stators. So 300 pipes and 800 wire. I don't have any of that here. Not in that box. Really? Dump that in. What was it? Iron pipe, right? Yeah, steel pipes. So 300 of that. Sort. And 800 wire. Part of my thinking is to get a central storage location going at some point. $500, 1,000. And then for some fun, and hopefully it doesn't try to open up the data sheet thing. That's not 500. 750. There we go again. 750. $43. That should be right at 800. Which will get us that. Let's put some stuff away because our pockets are full. They're expanded, but they're full. Put that away. Oh, you're not going to shift click that block though. Alright. That's my new supply of for that. Yeah, we need plastic for that, so we couldn't do it anyways. I'm not super concerned about that, but that we will need. And I need the quartz, whatever that is. Can I make that here? Yes, I can. Compared to 3. It looks like I'm going to need a fair bit of it. 130. Wow. 130 doesn't really divide by 3. Okay. Or 5 for that matter. Let's just go grab a bunch and then convert. I think I can convert it in my pocket for the moment. I was thinking about setting up a constructor and overclock it. Overclock the bejesus out of it. But I don't think that's going to be necessary. Funnily enough, I was looking at my Steam stats, and this is still only my 3rd most played game. But before I'm completely finished with this particular playthrough, it's going to be my 2nd most. Now, if you include server hours, then it's already my 1st, but since the way Steam hours calculate, because I've done a server, this is technically the 3rd server I've done, which lets it run 24/7. And the first one I think had 300 some hours on it, and the second one had a couple hundred. I didn't get quite as far. And then this one has like 300 hours on it. If I keep at it, I might actually fix this. At the moment, the bridge goes up too high, and I'd like it to not do that. Kinda, partially, it's one of those, you want to really preserve the environment, just because it's a pretty game. And the company making this game worked hard to make it pretty. my AMD software was whining about it running at like 45 FPS. And I'm like, yeah, I would do that at 1080p, and we're trying to push 1440p now. And I know that is actually a nitrogen gas well, I think they call it. The nice thing with the nitrogen gas is you do need the thing in the middle, but beyond that, you don't actually need any of the other stuff, like the different pumps on the pipes. And imagine this is completely full. As for the gas, it's a gas. It goes uphill just fine on its own. It's like, nope, you can't climb this hill. The worst offender is actually Empyrean, where it'll be your standard 6-inch step, and your character can't lift his foot high enough to get up it. Yeah, but if you go into the third-person perspective, their character has like a 1 meter, little over 1 full meter of jump, and yet they can't clear that. And it's like, really? It's my understanding from watching other people actually do multiplayer in this game, the amount you appear to jump on your own screen matches how high the character actually goes. Oh, and I do actually have arachnophobia mode on. So all the, I believe they're called stingers, show up as cats. I was hoping it would make them not spawn, but no. That's just me not wanting to deal with hostiles at all. But now that I have some experience with this game, I'm okay with them. Don't think I'm gonna need black powder. Actually, by having my display paused on my Twitch dashboard, it seems to have helped with the OBS a little bit. It's because I'm trying to hardware accelerate basically everything, but the game uses 99% of the graphics card. The game uses about 99. I think Firefox for rendering the display for my Twitch dashboard uses like 10 to 15%, maybe 5. Plus everything else, you can get another 5 to 10%. And it's like, yeah, that would be why it doesn't display very well. Because I'm trying to use 150% of my graphics card. Quartz crystals. 480. Oh yeah, that's more than enough. That's plenty. So I needed 100 for the crystal oscillator, I think it is. And you have to unlock that because some of the later parts for the elevator research phases require that as an ingredient. But at that point, I should have all of this automated. So there's two products you get out of your silica, out of the quartz. You get these quartz crystals that you can craft it in silica. I think it was 130 altogether. And I think I actually need pipes or something. We'll see when I go look. Quartz. Reinforced iron plates. Alright, some reinforced iron plates. I'm not sure on that. Radar. That's what we're going to want, because that is what allows us to go ahead and all the time see all the different resource nodes. Quick wire. That should be ready to go, I think. I don't know that this will go into the awesome sink. I guess it does. In with you. Our Caterium container should have some Caterium ingots in it. And then after we get the Caterium wire, or the quick wire available, I'm going to probably go upgrade a few power poles. It's still going to take a while to get through all that. Also, my thing should be ready. What was the ratio on that? Motors. 10 and 10 to 1. Oh, no, 2 to 1, rather. So we need 100 rotors, which I should have. Yeah, 100 rotors and 100 of the sprockets. Yeah. And we need to switch this over to motors. That'll take a minute. And over here. Nope, that didn't make any. Ethereum, which let's just get quick wire. $100 of the quick wire. Alright, let's see. It would be this machine. Select recipe, quick wire. 12, and it gets you 60. How much are we producing? 120 minus some. So it'd be 30, just shy of 40 per minute. Woo! That's the one thing I really dislike about the Blade Runners. When you have the Blade Runners on, it momentum that you didn't have, it applies. And so it's really easy to go careening off the edge of the land. Let's see, we need... So I'm getting just under 40. That uses 12. Okay. 4, 36 for 6 of them. 6 in a partial one. Back to the calculator. Divided by 12 is 3 1/3. So just over 3 constructors. I'll go ahead and do 4. Bunch of that. We're gonna need that. Shouldn't need any of that, although I'm going to bring that. And some of that and that. Iron rods. And some concrete. Probably use up all of the iron sheets trying to build out a platform for this.
Harvest.
Hush. That should be plenty of room. Two, three,
Your contract legally compels you to
4.
harvest this artifact. Comply.
Shut it, Ada. I don't even know where that thing is. So we're going to want to merge it over to there.
Breaking news from Earth. Widespread chaos and mayhem. World President urges all citizens to do their part and harvest alien artifacts.
This will get a little wonky with the belt run, but and run industrial storage container.
Harvest. It.
You know, I don't actually know where that one is. Quick wire. Quick wire, and you get set to 33%. power pole, which is why I grabbed enough stuff to do that.
Picking up multiple fix-it personnel in the area. Proceed with harvest
Really?
before it's too late.
Oh, it's because it's the other one, not this one. That's why. Helps when you plug it into the right opening.
Comply.
It'll take a little bit, but that should get going. In the meantime, our motors should be finished, so we should be able to do oil soon. And I know there's oil that way on a couple little islands. There's a couple of nodes that I like to use for actually making the plastic and the rubber. And then if you keep going down the coast that way, you run into a mushroom forest. And there's like 6 oil nodes out there, and I prefer using those ones for the fuel generators. Motors. Oil processing milestone reached.
Oil acquisition and refining unlocked. Oil-based products can now be made. The byproducts of oil refinement can be used after further processing, as seen in the refinery.
Right,
Caution.
okay.
This is a reminder to minimize the chance of expiration during out-of-base activities.
Yes. Because some of the highest tier enemies are around the oils. So we need to have refineries and oil extractors. 120 cubic meters per minute. And that will do, I have no idea. But before I can get too carried away with that, we're not going to be able to do it right now. Let's see. What do we have in our inventory? Nothing particularly useful. Time for a dump and sort. And dump that off. Okay, sort that. Sort that. Now, I think I'm going to run a bunch of stuff through our item recycler over there. I'm not going to need that yet. I'm going to leave the rest of that. Oh yeah, it's just a regular size storage container. Never mind. Thought I was going to get to dump everything, but no. Alright, so I was going to go expand that platform for the steel production. Really? That's all the iron plates I have left? In my pockets. I passed it. I don't know that I'm gonna need this much, but yeah. Oh, I was also going to go decommission the other concrete maker because I don't think I'm going to need it. Oh, we're not getting enough limestone. 30 limestone per minute. This is using 45 a minute. Oh. Bottleneck. So that'd be 60, but eh. Well, I'm thinking about it. Let's go ahead and make that a Mark II. I should have all the gubbins I need for that. Or maybe I don't have all the gubbins I need for that. Really? Yeah, now I got some of that, and I got that. Let's see, in case steel beams, which is... well, I don't need that many. Everything else I know I have. On the wiki, somebody's... when they were talking about upgrading the miners that are in place, they find it really annoying that you have to use 2 even though there's already 1 there. But you do get 1 back. So yeah, that would be the problem. I'm never going to be able to get it at Kazakhs, but I would like to have... That's iron. Got some beefy iron plate storage. Iron rods. This is rotors. I believe that's just reinforced iron plates. Smart plating. Which box was it? Is it you? No. One of these boxes has the box thing. Modular frame. Well, I'm thinking about it. It'll take it a minute to get going again, but that should help with the concrete there. And I was going to expand that platform out for the steel production. According to my calculations, once I get going with the Mark III belts, or Mark IV belts, and have all of the miners up there upgraded as Mark IIs, it should output enough to support 8 separate foundries at the same time. The hard part's going to be converting all of that into steel beams and pipes. We've only spent the last 600 streams just grinding. Time for some optimizing. I didn't bring anything I need to set up for the power for that, did I? Nope. The power, the belts, the foundries. Foundries. Yeah, foundries. I believe it's just over 1 full panel for it. Really? So 2... Basically need a 2x2 area for it. Alright. And I think I'm going to move it all around too while I'm at it. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. I might need to expand the platform a little bit. The foundries. I have all the parts I would need to do that. Just need to go get it. And I know I want to put a little bit of space so that I can actually put the belts on without walking off the edge. I just have to go grab the materials to do this. We're going to need wire, and we're going to need cable. I should have just about everything else. And if I need steel beams, I think I might know where to get those. So 45 a minute times 8 is 360. And then from there, I'll have to do some more math to figure out how many constructors I'm actually going to need. Because I believe it's 4? I don't know. I'll have to look at the constructor and see. I know it's 4 steel ingots per iron beam and 3 per iron... iron pipe. Steel pipe. Steel beam and steel pipe. Optimize. Alright. Rotors? Yeah, rotors. A little bit of cable and some wire for the power that we're going to need to run. So we're going to need that. Shouldn't need any. Well, let's go ahead and grab that. Since I already have it out. Oh, and we're going to probably need iron rods and plates. I mean, not that I don't have any on me. Quick drink. All right. I'm thinking I might do like I have my power set up, but I don't know that I can do the space between them. Oh, and because there's 2 inputs there, we got to double stack all of the splitters.
Milestone exchange concluded. Fix-it freighter re-entry complete.
I don't know that I have enough width here to do this. Because I want to make sure I got plenty of room behind it. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it overlaps with that. foundation. One more. One more foundry right there. Logistics, we need splitters. The tricky part's going to be that we need one more in the middle here. So I'm going to go over 2 more foundations, I think. To make sure I don't accidentally walk off the edge. Logistics. Yeah, I think I usually do the inner one as that. There's 3 on that side. Technically, I don't think it actually matters, but I like to do it for consistency's sake. Yeah, I suppose that's fine. And then it really doesn't matter which is which because it's all going to be fed the same way. They'll get us 360 steel. I didn't put the other merger in. And that gets us 360 steel ingots per minute. I have a Mark 1 pound. So we're gonna have to work with that. And I'm really annoyed that it's not using the bot account, but it's using my main account. I don't have the recipe set, but this is all stealing it. Eventually there is another recipe, I just don't have it unlocked yet. I thought about splitting it nice and evenly, have like 4 and 4 or 3 and 6 or something. No, that wouldn't be right. 2 and 4. But I don't know about that. Steel beams, we go through 60 per minute. Which divides really nicely into 360. Because that's 6. The problem is the pipes don't use that. They go through more, I think? 30. Oh. 360. 2, it does be 60. And 4 more. 60, 120, 240. 7 altogether then? 30. I went 2. Probably 3 for that actually, so that'd be 90. 60 minus 90. 270. Nope. Four and a half. So it's gonna have to be 2. Which basically leaves me 300 divided by 65. Yeah, so 7 altogether. 7 of the constructors. I just don't have the reinforced iron plates on hand. Otherwise, it doesn't divide nicely. But 2 for pipes, and then the rest are all keep wanting to call them iron beams, steel beams. I happen to know I have plenty of reinforced iron plates. I think what I'm going to try to do to help separate it out so that I can track it a little better is put an actual air gap in between, the ones for the pipes and one for the beams. And then approximately half the ones for the beams are going to go to another section that's getting concrete. However, before I get too carried away, I do actually need to get the research in for the Mark IV belts. There's plenty of that. We are going to need more cable. Do I have more cable over here? Cables? No. Nope. Because we're also going to need cable to attach it to the power. One project at a time, dude. One project at a time. Otherwise, you're going to forget what you were doing. There are lights in the game. I don't like using the lights in the game, especially I don't know if this is true in single player, but on a server, I've always had them never work correctly. You go to turn it on and it does nothing. And then you come back later and it's full bright, but the light is technically off. And it's very inconsistent at the moment. I'm not faulting the devs, it's just that it seems to be a bug. So 7 of those, and I might. There might be enough room here to set this up. Two. And a gap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because we're going to need a splitter, but I don't know that I have enough room to do a splitter here. Because I don't know that I can make that shape. Alright, we're going to do some foundations, and then we're going to rip that out. Because we need a little more room than that in order to make the splitters work. In order to be able to use a splitter. Constructor. That's not the point I'm working from. I'm working from that point. Two, 3, 4, 5. One, 2. Now I should be able to split it. See, now we need one splitter there. And a splitter there. Looking at it, I think I can just do it from there. Because it's 6 plus the 1. There to there, and there to there. And then that works. As for collecting it all back up, I kind of sort of... Let's start putting the mergers in. And then we're going to need a little bit more. Oh. That one's rotated wrong. There we go. Don't want to go too crazy with this because if I do, I won't be able to actually get under it. Unfortunately. Wait a sec. That's not right. I do want to merge them separately in groups. Okay. So merge those together there. Because we're sending them these all into different places. So these two get the pipes. And then I think I want to make those 3 just do steel beams. No. I haven't checked the ratio there. The encased steel beams, which is in the assembler, not this. I'm going to need to go check my recipes here. I know at least 2 of them I want to go into the reinforced steel beams. But I'm going to have to go look at the recipe for that. Because 2 of those will get just put in the storage, and then the other 2 are going to have to go somewhere. The other ones have to go somewhere else. We're almost optimized on that part. I just need the belts. And to upgrade all of the miners. And hook everything up. Because I know 2 of those is 60. No. Fortunately, I'll have one of those too to look at the recipe. When you're making specific amounts that actual per minute, or not per minute, the actual number of items is what matters. But when you're trying to do something like this, or steel beams, and I get the steel beams at a rate of 15 per minute, using 60 ingots. But I actually got 15, so 30. Which is a little bit faster than one of those will do. 24 per minute. 2 would be 48, which is less than 60. 3 would be 96 used and 45 steel beams and 2. So it looks like 2 for that, and then the rest just be steel beams. Also assemblers. And it looks like I could use 2 assemblers? Yeah, it looks like I actually have everything on me to do that. 24, 48. That'd be 30. 45. For 3. Yeah, let's do 3 into the encased steel beam production. And then 2 for just steel beams. I'd want to have more going there anyways, because we're going to be needing... You get less of that per ingot than you do the regular steel beams. So... the fun part is getting it expanded out to the next phase. I think I'm going to make another platform on the other side. Foundations, because we're going to also need foundations for the storage. Ah! Did it again. Ow. There's not a platform there. That's the third time I've fallen off and hit the ground and not died. Last Thursday I did, and then yesterday when I was working on stuff, I also fell off. Let's try not to do that again. And I think it would be best if I pulled the steel beams off of the first section for the concrete and then just send the other 2 off. I think that's what I'm going to do. So that goes into the concrete maker and put the concrete maker there. And then storage to be further down. Now, if I fell off now, I would probably not survive. That's probably more than enough room. Production assemblers. 2, 3. And some splitters. Same thing as before. Sometimes making sure that the sometimes the hard part is making sure that the belts are actually gonna be able to go there without causing a problem. And a merger. Merger there. And then we put all of our conveyor belts to there. And then our industrial storage units. One for pipes. One for the regular steeling beams. And one for that. So then we take our logistics of conveyor belts. Look at that one there. Encased industrial beams. And then over here, these will get steel beams except for the two that are separated by air. Steel beams. Steel beams and steel beams. And these two make steel pipe. I believe all of the recipes are set now. I'm not actually ready to attach that yet. 201 megawatts. Actually, I probably could, but it's not going to do anything because we don't have any of the limestone coming up. We don't have the full production on the iron or coal yet. Still need to get all that ready. Let's see, the limestone one was... I think it's almost directly underneath. Not that pole, this pole. And this side. Because if you don't watch yourself, you can easily walk right off the side. I believe that is the limestone one right there. That's the coal. The limestone one should be around here somewhere. Over there. That's some cheaty grass right there. I think for simplicity's sake, I might just run this up the ramp. I only have 75 steel ingots on me. Oh no, whatever will I do? I mean, it's not like I can't find some somewhere nearby. He said completely non-sarcastically. Actually, let's clear some brush first. Just to make our job a little easier here. Try and make it actually visible. There we go. And then this little stand of tree here. Alright, go grab some steel beams out of the current storage. I could mess with the item elevators, but because of where it's actually located, I don't know how well that would work. And I'm pretty sure this is too far. Yeah, I can't even hit the target from here. Yeah, okie dokie. I think I'm going to come around on this side just so that I can miss that. Because that needs to connect into all of this mess over here. Shouldn't be too bad. Basically just a merger. Or actually a replumb of a merger that's already there. Like put that into the backside and then pull it into the side there. Shouldn't be a problem though. And then the fun part is actually getting it up the hill. On the plus side, this corner shouldn't be too awfully bad. encased steel beams. I can make that, and I have another portable miner over there. The limestone should not be our bottleneck. It should be the steel. Although, having said that, actually I need to reduce one of those or just leave it. What I might do at first is just turn one off. I think they did that on purpose to make it harder to automate unless you're doing massive quantities of whatever. 30 concrete. Alright, and the Mark II, I have no idea because, well, quite frankly, I don't know the purity of that node. Ten more of these. Open up my other beverage. Because I seem to have run out of it. And one more miner. So technically that'll do 90. And primarily it's going to be the main feed stuff from the miners over to the steel production area. And then I'm going to power up to it. I figure I might as well. So, yep, you need the encased steel beams in order to upgrade the stuff, but you need to upgrade the stuff so you can make encased steel beams. Yep. Sometimes belts give you a nice curve to them, sometimes they don't. I highly doubt this is going to exceed the capacity of this belt, though. Nope, can't reach it from here. Gotta get closer. I'm too far away, my arms are too short. But I can use 90 concrete, or concrete, hang on a second. Concrete, not that. I forgot a step. 120 limestone, and I can turn that into how many? concrete. Can I make a constructor? I can. Concrete. Using 45. Ow. That stupid thing where it doesn't divide nicely. 90. 135, so 3 of them. We'll go with 2. Floor is too steep, and then you let go of that and it lets you build it. Concrete. Conveyor merger. Because that's what you use to make the encased steel beams, not the other. And it'd be sitting there. I think this will be okay for production because I can't really divide it nicely, unfortunately. There's a few things in this game that are like that. Where basically you'd have to be producing over 100 of the previous unit to divide it nicely, nice and evenly. Good. Looks like I didn't accidentally get any ore in there because I don't need ore. If I'd been thinking about that, I would have put that in before there, but, you know, here we are. Now, let's see. Over yonder is the hole down. Put stuffs away. I think I need plastic sheets. I spent all this time trying to optimize the concrete, or not the concrete, the steel production, and I don't even have any of that going. Well, that's how it goes sometimes, I suppose. I think 600 megawatts max. I have 1200 megawatts. Plus, I've got that 3.6 gigawatt buffer. And looking at this, I can remove that. Dump our gubbins off. Really? Some of the slots are just not acting right. Since I did do a fair bit of clearing. Not that box, that box. That box is where that goes, and that box is where that goes. Tier 6. It's under expanded power, which requires the computers that is required for that, and that requires the industrial manufacturing. Okay, let's see. Steel pipes and copper wire. Is there a copper node near there? This is getting annoying. This is getting to the point where I'm going to have to go and do a lot of this off camera. Because I think we really are to the point where we need to automate everything. It's either that or I need to go back to an old habit of mine, which is basically conveyor belts everywhere. Are there any copper nodes anywhere nearby? There is. Copper. Infinite distance. Select icon. And then down to the right? Because down to the left is iron. According to that, it should be like right there. I think I see it. Yep. Right there. Hmm. Because once we get the stators going, we can get the motors going. I think I have room up here for it. I just don't have the parts for the miner. I'm pretty sure that's a single node. And that should back up all the way to the mine because I don't have anywhere for it to go at the moment. No, it needs to produce its copper wire, and I believe it's 2 crafters and 1 smelter on the Impure node. Because it's either this or ship it all the way to somewhere else. Sulfur. Huh. Iron node next to that, a normal copper node. So it should give me 60 copper per minute. I think that'll give me 60. Which is the capacity of one of the smelters. And I need 2 of the constructors, because I believe those only do 15. No, that'd be 4 constructors. I have a copper node to check, but I think the ones over there are impure. Thank you for the reminder. All right. So I'm thinking it'll do 60. And the impure node is why I can get away with 1 smelter. Maybe. But I have to go look. And I think I'm just going to go with a regular one for now. Alright, perfectly. No sarcasm whatsoever in that statement. Alright, I'll have another drink. Can't hurt. Drink has been had. So I think this is an impure node. Yeah. And so I'm only getting 30, and I can do 30 per minute there. So I need 2 smelters and 4 crafters. Yeah. So we need 1 Mark 1 miner, 2 smelters, and 4 constructors. And we're going to need other parts anyways, because we also need to run power to it. And then I need to somewhere along the ways actually get the I could use that, I suppose. Boy, my inventory's a mess. The reinforced plates, which I've got there. And a portable miner over here. Leather boots. And my thinking is actually I want to try using foundations for this little bit of manufacturing right on the node. this over here. And we're going to need to split it. And then I usually merge it first and then resplit later for the other part, but let's see, our node is right here. Let's scroll to the right tool. Now, can I still get that miner in there? And unfortunately, our smelters are going to have to follow the grid, but I hate that. Alright, 2 smelters. Nope. Not enough room. Yeah, let's do our splitter first. And then from there we do our smelters. Now we should be able to do that. Organization, logistics. And a couple belts from there to there. And I've done this trick before too. So that goes... The way that this setup works is this goes in here, and then that goes into there, and then two of them are there, and then one of them is over there. And I don't have enough ground there. That actually ought to be enough. Protection, one more constructor, and I'm in the way. And then we connect that one into there, that one into there, that one into there, and then you into there. And then over here, we merge there. And one of them there, and one of them there. And do the same thing on this side. And now it can do that. So this is going to be making wire. We're going to be getting 120 wire per minute. And then there's the pipe that I have absolutely no idea what the current producing amount is. But the hard part is going to be getting all of this up top. So I can go that way with it. That used 3 segments, but that's also a lot closer to the platform. I'm so annoyed that it's doing that. Nope. But all that is now set to make copper wire. Then I need an assembler and I need platform. Now plug that in once I've got the rest of it all set up and ready to go. I might try doing that, but in reverse. Start at the top and work my way down. see, that's the current place where it's produced. Getting low on everything here. Might want to grab some more steel beams while I'm at it. The hole down is over here. My thinking behind going down instead of trying to go up is because I'm going to need to go horizontally before I can go up or down. Because there's just not enough... You don't get enough belt length for me to do it infinitely. I'm not optimizing this yet. One thing at a time. I can get the stators going. These are the stators. And then you need the stators to make the rotors. Or not the rotors, the motors. Advantage of this being on a server is I don't have to be logged in. By default, it does pause the server when there's no one online, meaning nothing is going on. But it's like with one of the versions of the FTB chunk loading in Minecraft, that defeats the purpose of having a chunk loader. The whole point is so that you don't have to be online and it'll keep running. But if you unload it, forcibly unload it, then it kind of defeats the point. I think I'm just going to stick it here for now. This part's not going to be particularly efficient. Because you need stators to make rotors. Or motors. Organization, industrial storage. I'm not sure how well I'm going to be able to grab this, though. just so I can look at the recipe. And I think there was something we were working on earlier. Quick wire research? I think I'm going to empty my pockets before I do that. Put the zipper in there. The leafy leaves in there. Let's see, I think I needed quick wire for something. Yeah, 100 quick wire to unlock some stuff. I haven't even touched this. Yeah, some things take a lot longer than others. I think we got the quick wire covered. And the way it loads, it's not like Minecraft chunk loading. It's basically anywhere where you got a machine, it's loaded. Not graphically, but the calculation is going on. For this is producing X, and then it knows that this belt connects this point to this storage unit over here. So it should have so much of whatever it is. That's because we're going to need high-speed connectors and AI limiters. I don't have plastic, but I do have the copper sheets. I think it's the power switch and the smart splitter. The power poles Mark III. We're going to research that now. Thank you very much.
New building unlocked.
Power pole Mark II. Anyways, Deuterium. 50 of those. That part's not the problem, it's plastic at the moment. Do any more Deuterium and more quick wire. And then I also need the some copper sheets, which I should have. Oh, that was going to be the other thing I was going to do before we leave. Set up a couple of those awesome sinks and start syncing stuff regularly, just automatically. There should be some of those up in my wallet. Junk drawer, whatever you want to call it. What was I gonna grab? Oh, copper sheets. That's right. Because that is involved in one of the future recipes that we're going to have. I think it's involved in several. The supercomputers are involved in one of the final recipes in the game. The Power Pole Mark III we can do, but I don't really... Well, we can't because we don't have that. Mycelia... We're going to have to go through this in order to get to some of the further stuff. Sulfur, I'm not worried about that at the moment. I could unlock some other things over here. The circuit boards. I don't think I can make that yet. I can make the oscillator. Yeah, I have to actually do the plastic production, so we can't do that right now. We'll get to it, but we can't do it right now. Radio signal scanning. Because I would love to get the radar going to help me with planning things for the local area. But we could probably do the Explorer. I just need some of that. The quartz crystals, cables we have, and reinforced iron plates. You get 2, and I need 10 of those things? Yeah, 10. So you get 2 per recipe, and it costs 5 of those. I mean, at this point, just dump it in there. That, and I dumped all that in the trash, didn't I? Actually, no. What else do you need? 36 per 2. Wow. Maybe I won't do that. You know what? I think I'm going to hold off on doing that right now. It'd be nice to do some more research there, but I don't. No, that happened. I could do the cables. And I do actually have to do this at some point because we need to manufacture and to do the automation. Because I believe the modular engine actually has 4 items that go into it. But it doesn't say. But, because that's got 4 items, and so does that, and both of those are parts. As well as we need the computers for later for other parts, as well as there's a couple of things like the trains, I think, require computers. If I remember right. Platforms and all of that stuff. Because I do want to actually do the train, but in order to do the train we need that, and then we also need the computers for the fuel generators. And this is where the assembler comes, the manufacturer comes in, because we got 4 separate items we need to make one of those, and this is why we need to really optimize our modular frame production, because that has been my main bottleneck in the past. Unfortunately, I can't do much of any of that right now, because this is probably another 14 or 15 hours to rip this out and redo it. And I think what I want to do is dedicate like 2 nodes to each resource type, base resource. Or I could, since I know there's other iron nodes nearby, dedicate a separate section for just the screws. Let's see if I can find it again real quick. It's either up here or over there. But somewhere around here, there's a bunch of iron, another small section of iron nodes clumped together. Yeah, right there. There's 3 there, and that might just be 3. But like, take those and dedicate that entirely to screw production. Grab our slug there eventually. I'm going to also need to get everything into a centralized place to make it easier to do things like some of the recipes. I think the circuit boards take the copper sheets and plastic. The plastic we can get from when we do our oil production over yonder. And then the copper sheets are made over there. Over there. In the distance. Because we're going to need that. Yeah, copper sheets and plastic. The copper sheets we're currently producing, the plastic we are not. Okay, it's residual oil. The nice thing with the residual oil is you can re-refine it into other stuff. Instead of just letting it sit there and clog up the works. That was always my biggest issue with doing the aluminum. Is that you end up with wastewater at one point, and it's not enough to pump back into the manufacturing of anything. But it's enough to where eventually you clog your system. So I started last time bottling it and shipping it off to the awesome sink, which I was going to set one up. Special. That's actually pretty cheap. I think I might do 2 of them. One up in my steel protection area, which I'm going to need some of that for. Cables. That and that. And of course the reinforced iron plates. I think that's everything I'm going to need. I'm going to start with one over by the Caterium. And then split off of the feed into the storage and send one over to the awesome sink. It's really easy to go over time here. Let's see, one awesome sink here. Logistics, a splitter. Really?
I strongly advise you to harvest this specimen.
Oh, hush. Not actually sure where to plug this thing in. There's one down, and I'm going to put one up by the steel, I think. That was the other thing I was going to do. That way, when I come back on, eventually, whenever that may be, I have some tickets waiting for me instead of having to manually feed the thing. I might not hook the one up here up to anything, but I'm going to have one up here for later. One of the reasons why I've got everything set up the way it is because I'm trying to avoid having like belts everywhere like I usually do. Oh, that I pulled a bunch off of there. I don't even know where I would put this thing. Over here, I guess. splitter. I mean, if we're already making gajillions of these anyways. For now. Now that should start disposing of pipes. Which basically means that's going to produce indefinitely because it's never actually going to back up. I think I'm going to stop with that point. Eventually I'm going to put a bigger feed on it off the more optimized section. I'm not sure if the I don't know how any of that stuff works. Wait until I have a pile up going, I guess. I don't know that I have any more tickets waiting for me now, but it is nice to have it automatically being fed. I have some more. Nice. Anywhoozle, we're gonna stick that in there. And you know what? I will take one more drink before we go. And as it is the end of stream now, that's not really a game I enjoy, unfortunately. I know Chimkin said something about trying. I think it was Chimkin was talking about trying it for me, but he looks to be mostly just chatting right now. I'll try watching. Anyways, thanks everyone for stopping by. And my stream will be again. I'll be streaming again tomorrow, probably from here, starting at 3 p.m. Eastern till about 6ish. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.